Hello there from Heide Park in Germany. Park number 2 for me and Mark on our little trip to Germany. And today, I believe there's 9 roller coaster credits here. 9 creds for the count, catching Mark up slowly. I'm sure he'll go off and do some wacky worms as soon as we get back to England to make sure that his count's still nice and far in front of mine. But today we've got rides like Colossos, the huge wooden roller coaster that reopened a couple of years ago. There's a RØDE clone, which is known as Desert Race. There's a B&M Wing Coaster, which I'm not going to try and pronounce because, well, if you've seen Andy Rumney's vlog, he couldn't pronounce it. So if he can't pronounce it, I can't pronounce it. Andy was calling it Flug der Dämonen. I'm not sure what it's... We'll ask Mark the pronunciation in a minute. But that's a B&M Wing Coaster. Then you've got a dive coaster. There's an old Vekoma Looper. So there's all sorts of different types of coasters here, and I'm looking forward to giving them all a go. +9 on the count's always really good. Can never complain at that. And it's just nice to finally visit this park like it was Hansa Park yesterday. So I'm now going to bring Mark in, a man who likes sweet meat and potato pies for breakfast. However, today he had a cheese toastie at McDonald's.
There's no sausage though, you know what I mean? They can't beat a sausage and an egg McMuffin, but for whatever reason they wanted to put a burger on a bagel. I was like, I'm not having that, thanks.
The breakfast options weren't very good.
No, they weren't, no.
But you've been here before, what should I expect?
It's just a nice park. Proper reminds me, I'm going to go old school here, reminds me of the Leafy Lake
Roller Coaster Tycoon
scenario, because you can literally see basically modelled on it. It's a nice park, I enjoyed it last time. Flug der Dämonen.
Is that how you say it?
I'm guessing it's be close enough. It's better than Flug der Diamond anyway.
Sorry Andy, but it was quite funny watching your vlog back.
Yeah,
if you're watching Andy, that is, then yeah, we had a bit of a laugh at Flug der Diamond, didn't we?
Yeah, but no, it's good. I'm excited to get on Colossus. It wasn't open in 18 when I was here, so I'm excited to get back on that. Desert Race is good. It's better than RØDE. That's all I'm going to say. It's better than RØDE, even though it's a clone.
I just don't know how it can be. I reckon it's going to be exactly the same, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's good. Obviously, it's quite a picturesque park as well, so should be able to get some good off-ride footage for everybody. It is really picturesque.
Nice. I mean, we're just in the entrance plaza at the minute, and it does look nicely presented, and
yeah, it is.
Just looks good.
It'll also be good to get back on the old corkscrew trains.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like stepping back in time in them trains, but obviously on a different layout to corkscrew. But
big loop.
Big loop.
Yeah. Is there any other coasters that I've not mentioned that I should probably have mentioned? So I'm thinking we've mentioned the Wing Coaster, the Dive Coaster, the Woody, the Vekoma Looper.
The SLC.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Got what I consider to be the best bobsleigh as well.
Ah, Matt Bobsleigh.
Matt Bobsleigh. Good, oh. I enjoyed it last time.
We'll see how that
Bobbahn.
goes. Bobbahn, yeah, well that's nice and easy to pronounce. Unlike pronounce, can't say that. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how these coasters go today. It's an interesting part for me. I've looked at coming here so many times in the past, and it's always been like, do you know what, I'll go somewhere else instead. And with the flights being cheap for coming out to Hamburg, I thought, do you know what, let's finally do Hansa and Heide Park. Let's get them done, get on these coasters and see how good these parks actually are. So what I will say is today, Mark will be surprised by this, I'm actually looking forward to the dive coaster. I think it's Krake. Is it Krake? I'm looking forward to that. I'm not so much expecting a lot from the Woody. I've got to be honest, I always find that I prefer wooden roller coasters when they're more of the traditional style, you know, Cyclone, Coney Island, Big Dipper, Blackpool, that kind of style is usually the kind of Woody style that I prefer compared to the big, tall, huge wooden roller coasters. As another example is I prefer Balder at Leesburg to El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. So we'll see how it goes, but all in all, I am so happy to be in the park. Seems as though I had trouble finding a ticket in my emails. Just happy to be in. Looking forward to doing the rides, and hopefully we'll do a decent vlog for you today and cover as much of this park as we possibly can. The opening hours are 10:06. We're in the park before 10, so that's all good. So let's see how the day goes.
In den Heide Park. Los geht's, der Spaß beginnt. Erleb unsere Welt, sie ist nur für dich bestehen.
We've been on Krake. Heide Park's B&M Dive Coaster. I'll give my thoughts in a minute, but start with Mark because it's one coaster you weren't really looking forward to getting back on.
All I remembered was the drop was alright and it was a bit short. That's all I can remember of it, but quite fun really, to be honest with you. It's better than, certainly a lot better than what I remembered it being from a few years ago, so it does what it needs to. Got a good drop, good splashdown effect now, obviously, and then a decent airtime hill, to be honest with you. I quite enjoyed a bit of floater on that. It was good.
Excellent. What did you think about the operations?
Fantastic. It makes such a difference because the baggage hold is before the station, so literally everyone just goes in, gets buckled up and it's gone.
So yeah, very good first roller coaster here at Heide Park. Got to be honest, having watched POVs of Krake, I wasn't sure what to expect other than a pretty short coaster really, but I think it's one of those where it does exactly what it needs to do and doesn't go on for too long. The drop is not massive, but it's good. Airtime all the way down. Then you go into the inversion, which is alright because it takes it with decent speed. And then into the airtime hill, which is just, yeah, excellent. And if you've been watching PB for a while, you'll know that I love airtime on a coaster. And well, there's plenty of airtime on Krake, so very happy to have got on it. Gotta be honest, I liked it a lot more than I probably expected to do. Operations were really good, absolutely no faffing. No faffing from the guests, no faffing from the staff, just excellent. And like Mark said, having the baggage hold before the station makes a massive difference. Now, if you've watched our recent Thorpe Park vlog, you'll have seen us moaning about the poor baggage holds really on most of the coasters. There's none of that here, like the old style that you would have on Stealth back in the day, where you give your bag in and you get a lanyard in return, and at the end you retrieve your bag by handing the lanyard back in. Very much like Wicker Man at Alton Towers, or there's other rides that are still like that at Thorpe, I can't remember. Saw, I think, but either way, perfect, meant the operations were good. Very good start to the coasters here at Heide Park. On to the next one. Unfortunately, Flight of the Demon is on a one train service and there is a bit of a queue for it, so not going to be on this quite as quickly as we got onto Krake, but hopefully it'll be worth the wait once we do get on it. At least the weather's nice and the queue is quite well themed, so not the worst queue line to wait in, but one train ops are never a good thing when the park's quite busy. Notice here from Heide Park, do not take your dog on Flight of the Demon. Going back onto the subject of baggage hold, makes such a difference when you've got somewhere secure and safe to put your stuff in the station. In front is a baggage hold which then locks off and turns around as the train leaves the station, so that when you come back in the station your stuff will be securely there, held like that, as it's doing now. So you know that your stuff's safe and only you can get hold of it when you get off the train. Perfect. We've just been on Flug der Dämonen. I think that's how you say it. That's about as good as it's going to get from me in terms of that pronunciation. Rubbish at pronouncing things, really am terrible at it. So it's a great coaster if you like rides with no intensity, no airtime, and very little frill. It just didn't do very much for me, unfortunately. Looks good, looks very good, Got a good audio track. Baggage hold in the station's good. I'm trying to think of positives here because I need something to hide away from the ride experience, which was average at best. It's just not very good. But never really been a massive fan of the B&M Wing Coasters anyway. They're just not particularly thrilling coasters. What did you think?
Wasn't as good as I remember.
Not as good as you remember?
No, I remember it being quite intense in places, but not today, unfortunately. Like I say, it looks good off-ride. It's well put together, it's well themed, to be honest with you. Good audio, like you say, and that's about as much as I can say about it as positive. Like I say, I've got to say though, the baggage hold's ace.
Yeah, it is.
It does what it's supposed to do and keeps your stuff safe, so you'd have no issues putting like your phone in it or anything. So happy days. But you see, looks good off ride anyway.
Agreed. Should we go and find a drink and then the next coaster?
Drink and then big loop.
Big loop.
Big loop.
Sounds good to me.
We can pronounce that one.
Yeah, definitely.
And get on the old corkscrew trains.
Yeah, Alton Towers classic, but in Germany.
Yes.
There it is, the Vekoma Classic Big Loop. It seems as Mark's half in shot, you may as well walk in shot fully, mate, and tell us what you think of Big Loop.
He's got 2 big loops.
Is that it?
It was nice to get back on the corkscrew trains.
Yeah.
I also think that Millennium's probably modelled itself on this flat bit.
On the straight bit.
On the straight bit.
To be fair to Millennium in Skeggy, it's got markets to go over, so...
Yeah.
And to be fair to Big Loop, it's got
some grass
to go over, so there you go.
There we go. But all in all, it was all right for what it was.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to describe it. It's not the best coaster, not the worst coaster either. For its time, classic, and it's quite picturesque as well. I'm sure Scott will put some off-ride shots where it goes through the corkscrews and that, where it goes over this section of the lake. It's great. It's very, very picturesque.
Got to be quite controversial here, and Mark won't agree with me, but I actually think it's better than Flight of the Demon. It's actually thrilling. That's a big part of it. That might be a little bit rough, but it's actually thrilling. Next up is going to be Limit, the Vekoma SLC roller coaster. Here we are in the queue for Limit.
Yeah.
Something we haven't mentioned in these 2 vlogs from Germany so far is we must wear a mask in all queue lines and on the rides, which is
fair enough.
Obviously different from at home, but the masks we've got, they're not too restrictive, are they? So
no, we've got the FFP2 mask rather than the other one. We're pointing out that it does have to be surgical masks in Germany.
Yeah.
If you are coming, can't get away with the cloth masks. Not too bad, to be honest with you. A lot of the people as well are wearing them.
Yeah.
And on some places, they will have staff members coming in, making sure that you've got your mask on all the time as well.
Yeah, agreed. And there is still lots of COVID measures in place, like for example, the Perspex walls are up in the queue lines. And in terms of the queue line, Mark reckons about 15 minutes. It's on a 1 train service.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Worth pointing out that if you have been before, like I came in 18, it used to be a free-for-all in the station. But I'm guessing obviously due to COVID now, that's not the case. It's literally they'll batch the whole train in.
Yeah, agreed. So we'll see how it goes. I am expecting a rough ride, I've got to be honest, but I'm hoping it's not quite as bad as Wallaby's SLC.
I can't remember it, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It can't be too bad if I've not remembered it.
Yeah, I still don't think Infusion's that bad, whereas others I think are terrible, so we'll just see how it goes, I guess.
It's not the worst SLC I've done, not the best either.
Leaving it at that, or
To be fair, alright, they chucked them trains out.
They did?
Even though I only saw one train, but they didn't hang around. There was no messing around on it. It's just literally get in, send it, get the next lot on. Happy days.
it's not that bad. I've been on worse coasters, I've been on worse SLCs, I've been on worse Vekomas, I've been on worse Arrow coasters. Yeah, I've just been on worse coasters basically. It isn't smooth by any means, but by the looks of it, from what we saw in the station, it does have some new wheels on it, or at least fairly new wheels, and I think they've probably made a difference. It's not smooth, but it was thrilling, it was alright. I expected it to be a lot worse. I have nothing else to say on it really. Next up is Bobbahn, which is a Mack Rides bobsleigh roller coaster, which opened here at Heide Park in 1994. Very interested to see how this compares to Avalanche or Blackpool Pleasure Beach. There he is. What'd you make of that then?
I enjoyed that, mate. Thought it was good. Best bobsleigh I've done anyway.
Best layouted bobsleigh.
Yeah.
That's all I'd say.
It was good. Good fun ride, to be honest.
Yeah, something that's worth knowing is if you do have a backpack, you have to take it on.
Yeah.
Free trade service though.
Happy days.
Yeah. Long ride.
Yeah, it is.
Thrilling layout, but I don't think it's a bit rough.
Not on the train I was on, it wasn't too bad to be honest with you. A little bit jolty in places, but I didn't think it was that bad on that train.
How does it compare to Avalanche at Pleasure Beach? Because obviously we cover Pleasure Beach more than anything, and I'm sure anyone that's not been on would be interested to know of our thoughts. It's something I've just been thinking about then.
It's better than Avalanche for me.
Yeah.
Got a better layout, it's a longer layout as well. A bit more thrilling than Avalanche as well. I say, I genuinely enjoyed it. And the operations on this are
super, aren't they?
Yeah, they just chuck them trains out.
Yeah, that's not me having to go Avalanche, by the way.
No, it's not.
And I'm not trying to sort of set up a narrative to have a go at Pleasure Beach in any way here. It's just, I just know that if we don't mention it, like even Mike's going to ask us, Becca's going to ask us, they're going to say, well, how does it compare to Avalanche? So
yeah.
I might as well cover it in the video. And
as I say, it's a better layout, it's a longer layout than Avalanche as well. It's just, I genuinely enjoy this ride. I genuinely do. I think for what it is, it's good.
Here we are at Big Bob 2, Colossus.
Yes.
New cred for Mark on this trip. First one of the trip.
First one of the trip. Here we go. New cred time.
New cred time. Are you excited for this rather large wooden roller coaster?
I am. I'm trying to not build it up too much. It's big. It's got big hills. I'm just hoping there's big air time on it as well.
I think there'll be big air time. I'm just not sure how well it's going to ride. It should ride really well. but it's just hard to know what to expect.
Exactly. As long as it's big airtime and it's big and fast, I'll be happy with it.
Good stuff, good stuff. And what do you think of like the off-ride stuff? Because obviously we've got a big bob too.
Yeah, it looks good, to be honest with you, because last time I came, obviously it was all fenced off and I couldn't appreciate how big it was and what they've done with this area and this, you know, the big everything. It looks really good, to be honest. They've done a good job.
Very good wooden roller coaster. Fast, airtime filled, smooth, no fight crush, just out and out excellence. Absolutely loved it. We did back row first, and I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt me. This is gonna be. I saw the restraints, pulled the restraint down. I was like, it's tight on my legs. Not gonna like this at all. Loved it. So we ran round. Well, we didn't run. Do we look like people that run? We didn't run. We walked around quite quickly and did a second go where we got front row. Well, it was even better. More airtime. It's not got ejector airtime, it's more floaty airtime, and I think that's why it's more enjoyable with the restraints it's got. I think if it had ejector seat airtime with the restraints it's got, it would be vile. But it doesn't. It's got floaty sort of gradual airtime, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Smooth round the corners. The best thing I could probably compare it to is Balder at Leesburg, but just on a bigger scale. It's absolutely nothing like El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, which is a violent, thigh-crushing roller coaster, which I didn't like at all. Whereas this thing, superb. Absolutely loved it. How was it?
Incredible. It's fast, it's smooth, it's got plenty of airtime, especially on that front row. Back row's good, but it's a front row coaster. The prolonged airtime that you get on that front row is good. They've done an absolutely quality job with it, because there's literally, it's just smooth. It's like a steel coaster, it's that smooth.
Yeah, it's like a B&M but wood.
Yeah, exactly. It's great, especially when we've been on a five minute queue. You can, and the station is like, you know what, pick your row, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So we waited for the back, went straight to the front on the next go. Quality, absolutely brilliant. They're chucking the trains out as well. It's good.
Fire. Two trains though.
Two trains, and they're not hanging around with them. They really are chucking them out. It's no wonder when you see people just keep going round and round and round, because you could quite happily sit on that all day without any issues at all.
Am I to take from this that this is currently your favourite coaster here?
Yes.
Yeah.
By a long way.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you, to be perfectly honest. I think I'd have that as number 1 and Krake as number 2 so far on what we've done.
Agreed. It's worth a trip over here for that. It really is. He's a top woody, really is.
Wickerman vibes as well.
Wickerman vibes in the station. I thought I was in the Wickerman shop at one point. It is exactly the same basically, but you can see that they probably modelled it on each other, but fantastic.
Excellent. Shall we go and do desert race?
Yeah, the Rita clone that's better.
All day, I've been told, like every time it's come into conversation today, Mark's been like, desert race, better than Rita at Towers. I've been like, talking rubbish, mate. Exactly the same coaster, barring one thing. He's right, you know. I have no idea why. It's like 90% the same layout, and it's just better. I don't know why. The restraints are the same, the trains are almost the same, the layout's almost the same. Maybe it's something to do with the heat, the surroundings. I have no idea, but it is better, and I can't even put my finger on why. I actually enjoyed it. Normally, like, I'll just ignore Rita at Towers if it's got anything more than like a 15-20 minute queue. It's like, nah, leave that for now. No idea why it's better, it just is. I know someone that can explain. Can you explain why it is better?
No, it just is. I don't know. It's just much more. You always come off with a smile on your face on that thing. It's like, yeah, that's quite good. I honestly cannot explain why. It's just more enjoyable for some reason.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, same layout, same everything really, but it's just better.
So the only difference is that little bit after the first set of brakes, isn't it? Rather than going into a flat section and then into a corner, it has a little dip down and then a banked corner. That is the only difference. Yeah. And that doesn't make a whole lot of difference in terms of the experience.
No, it doesn't. But it's just, all day I've been saying to you, the Rita clone that's better than Rita.
And yeah, I've not believed you. Yeah. And now here we are, and I'm like, well, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I can't explain it, but it just rides better. It does. Just genuinely just rides better than Rita.
Next up is going to be Groton Blitz, which is a Mack powered roller coaster. And some important information about this one: you're not allowed to take your dog on it. So we'll see how it goes. Don't know about not taking dogs on. I'm not sure I'm going to get on it. This queue line's that tight. We've been on Groton Blitz, standard sort of Mack powered roller coaster. Very pleased to report that nobody tried to take their boxer dog on, so all's good. On to the next ride. I just want to take a time out of this vlog in terms of doing ride reviews and going to the rides, doing generic off-ride shots, just to share some shots of this park from across the lake, because as far as theme parks go, this is an absolutely gorgeous place. I know it probably helps that the sun is shining and the weather certainly is sweet, but it's just such a gorgeous theme park. I've just been sat filming some of the off-ride shots I'm going to show in a minute and thinking, I could come back here for a whole day and just film this park. Bring the gimbal, bring the tripod, just film every ride across from this lake and just be like, yeah, I'm happy with this. we've mostly covered the roller coasters today, but it is worth mentioning here at Heide Park there is lots to do if you don't like roller coasters. There's boat rides, there's rapids, there's flat rides. But because we're here for the coaster creds, we've not really focused too much on the non-coaster attractions here, but I didn't want to completely miss them off, and we will talk about them a little bit more towards the end of the video. But as we were walking past this nicely themed ride, I thought it's worth a mention. We've just taken a ride on Indy Blitz, which is the last roller coaster cred here that I had to do. And now we're going to take a ride on the River Rapids, which I don't know the official name for, but boat spacing certainly isn't a thing on this by the looks of it. But it should help with capacity, and on a day like today, I can imagine that this ride is going to be most welcome. There's all waterfalls on, it looks raucous, it looks wet, so we're going to go on it. Unfortunately, we can't take the cameras on, however, we'll let you know how it goes once we've been on. What did you think of the rapids?
I enjoyed that, mate. It's good fun. Not overly wet, obviously there's only 2 of us in the boat. I'd imagine with a big boat, you would get quite wet on it. Just enjoyable. One of them is just like I really miss rapids rides like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I did get mildly moist on the spray from the waterfalls. It was ace. It was just good fun and a laugh and just chilled as it goes round. You know, the way it goes in and out. They've thought about going in and out the trees and the rockwork quality, and they like a good wave machine as well.
Yeah, they do. Very good.
Very good.
Come to the end of our day here at Heide Park, unfortunately. How's it been for you, Mark, and the geese?
Half expecting one of them to jump on me. Been a good day. Been a very, very good day. It's a very nice park, picturesque, and you can chill here as well. We haven't rushed round. Got all the coasters in. Had 3 goes on Colossos, a couple of goes on Krake, done the rapids, and chilled out as well. It's got a nice, relaxed atmosphere about the place. I'll certainly come back at some point in the future. I don't know exactly when, but I'll certainly come back here. It's just a genuinely nice place, and on ice, it's significantly my best Merlin park that I've been to. Well, you've answered my next question, so I'll go to the next question. Favourite coaster? Here, Colossus. Yeah. Easily. It's fantastic. Definitely a front row. I wish we did a row 3 towards the end of the day, and wow, so much airtime on that thing. It really is incredible. It's such a good coaster. It really, really is. And they didn't hang around on the operations. They just chucked the trains out. It's good to see. Good to see it on 2 trains as well. With like some of the times, it's basically near enough walk on. Yeah, agreed. You know, you'd have been like, even on 1 train, you would have been 5 or 10 minute queue, but kept 2 trains on it. Happy days. Right, now to put you on the spot. Don't jump in the water to escape this one. Can you order the coasters? Have you got an order, would you say? Both times I've come here, I've done it in a similar order. Headed to Krake first. Yep. And then gone round clockwise. Yep. I just find it the easiest way to get round the park itself. You go back on yourself a little bit to either, when you come to a big loop, you either go to big loop, limit, and Bobbahn like we did today, or you can go Bobbahn, limit, come back on yourself to big loop and then head forward. But I just think it's just an easy way to get around the park and get around it efficiently as well. And what order would you rank them in? Colossus. Yep. Krake. Bobsleigh. Really? Yeah. That's the bobsleigh, mate. Really good. Flight of the Demon. Somewhere down the bottom, limit. Big loop? That can be just above limit. Not that bad. It's Desert right. Race? it's all right. Desert race. Oh, certainly. Actually, yeah. Put that as 3. Put desert race at 3. The Rita clone that's better than Rita.
So you've got Colossus, Krake, Desert Race, Big Loop.
Absolutely not Big Loop. Flight of the Demon, Big Loop, Limit, Groton Blitz.
Sound. Anything else you want to add about this place?
No, it's just fantastic. Something for everyone here, to be honest with you. It's a good family park. That's the best way I can describe it. It's got something for thrill seekers, it's got something for families as well. You could quite happily come here and have some of your kids in the kiddie area and just let the bigger kids play on the big rides.
Best Merlin park anywhere in the world so far. Made me want to do Gardaland, I've got to be honest. Never been to Gardaland, so it's made me think, do you know what? Need to maybe try there as well, because with the greatest respect, I was expecting kind of a Alton Towers, Thorpe Park kind of day where it's just, well, you know what to expect from those parks. They're very different to, say, a Hansa Park or a Pleasure Beach, or they're very different from those kind of parks, but it doesn't have that same feel about it as, say, like Towers or Thorpe, as an example, and I don't even know why. It's a great park. I love the coasters here. I think, obviously, there's some exceptions. To go straight into a ranking, Colossus, definitely number 1. Krake, closely behind it, because I really liked that. As far as dive coasters go, it shows up things like Barron. A lot of airtime on the drop, a lot of airtime on the airtime hill. The inversion's decent, and I like the theming of it. It's just a well done area without going over the top. So that's number 2. Number 3 is a difficult one, I think. I'd probably have to agree with Mark on Desert Race. Then 4 I'd have Big Loop. Then 5 I'd have Bobbahn. 6 Flight of the Demon. 7 Limit. And then obviously after that it's just the little coasters which you just do as a one and done. Catering's good. Rapids are good. Staff are fast, efficient, friendly, helpful. That's the same on the rides, catering, wherever you go, it's all good. Park is picturesque, as you can see behind me. Hope there's no geese. It's a very picturesque park. Like I said earlier on in this video, I think I'll come back one day with a gimbal and the tripod and literally just film the rides from everywhere that you can film them from, because it's one of those parks that wherever you go near a ride, there's somewhere good to film it, with probably the exception of Bobbahn. You can film rides from everywhere and then you get views like this. And it's also worth noting as well, there's shows here. There's a lot of other rides that we didn't do. In truth, if you're not vlogging, like we've been vlogging today, if you weren't vlogging, you could probably get a ride count 40, 50 rides on a day like today. We could have quite easily done Krake probably 20 times in that first hour because we were the only ones on it. Flight of the Demon's the exception. But everything else was just quiet, walk on. Like we've been saying, operations are efficient. You could just get on everything loads here on a quiet day. I don't know how busy it gets. Obviously we're visiting on a weekday in September. I wouldn't like to come here on a Saturday in August because it's probably busy, especially in heat like this. But with the way the park's run and the operations, it might not be an issue. I don't know, it's hard to say. Either way, totally recommend a visit. If you're worried about the testing and all the COVID protocols and all that from the UK, ask us about it in the comments, we'll talk you through it. Quite happy to talk you through it. I'm going to do a write-up online. Still not decided if we're going to do a travel vlog at this point. By the time this video's on, we'll know if it's a travel vlog or not. So if there is, I'll put a card in the top of the screen. If there isn't, feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to ask any questions about travel anyway, and I'll be more than happy to help with what we've had to do to come to this park from the UK without quarantining. So that brings us to the end of this video, really. Again, if there's any more questions about the park, I'd be more than happy to answer them. It could be a great family day out, it could be a great thrill seeker day out. There is something for everybody in this park. You will have a great time, whether you come here with young children, teenagers, just adults. Doesn't matter what your group size is or your group age is, there is something for everybody in this park, and that is why I fully recommend it. I would say it is the best Merlin park that I've been to anywhere in the world so far. Many thanks for watching. and we'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.